going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chunky! I didn't say.
Eat your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Hope you guys are well. All right, you guys want to watch some court? I want to watch some court. All right. Now, I didn't really have a good name for this title of this video, so I just said tough cases. There's 4 cases. The first one is, a FAFO type case, and details are kind of bad. The last one involves a dog or a couple dogs, so kind of sad. Not terrible, but yeah, just kind of tired today. Didn't really have another name for it, but I did put two clips that are kind of funny in the middle. Anyways, all right, before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
And let's call next people from Matthew Wolf, file 23-6613 FH. Council, you want to state your appearances, please?
Goodrich, County Prosecutor.
Mike Mataloni on behalf of Mr. Wolf, who's to my right.
Oh, do you want me to bring in Mr. Brown then?
If there's going to be an issue on the show causes, he's just here to testify about the missed call.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. All right, so let's see, address this first. Sort this out. So we're here for sentencing on a charge of child abuse in the 3rd degree. It's punishable by an action of 2 years. The guideline range of 5 to 23 months. First off, Mr. Mataloni, do you have any additions or corrections to the report or challenges to the scoring of the guidelines?
I do not.
Ms. Goodrich, do you?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so we are also here, it looks like there's
This clip started 30
show
seconds ago.
causes.
You are just one.
One that was signed on April 8th that alleges, Mr. Wolf, that you are in contempt of court for violating the conditions of your bond by missing tests and calls from March 8th through April 8th, except for the date of March 11th. And then there's another show cause dated May 3rd, alleging that you are in contempt of court for violating your bond by continuing to not call or text. You have a right to have a hearing where that would need to be established beyond a reasonable doubt, the right to the assistance of your attorney at that hearing. If you are found to be in contempt, you could be jailed up to 93 days and or fined up to $7,500. Understanding the rights that you have and the penalties that you face, Mr. Mataloni, do you know how Mr. Wolf wishes to proceed on the contempt?
I think he has an explanation. I'm guilty with an explanation, I think.
Okay. Mr. Wolf, if you want to stand and raise your hand for me. Sure. Tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth shall be God.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, you can see it. And are you Matthew Allen Wolf Jr.?
Yes, sir.
Okay, has anybody promised you anything in exchange for admission of contempt?
No, Your Honor.
Anybody threatened you?
No, Your Honor.
So your own free choice.
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you wish to plead to contempt of court, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, and your conditions of bond were to call every day and test witnesses to do so, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and did you miss several calls and tests?
I called the line every day. I did miss a test though, as I called the court and told that I just couldn't afford it, Your Honor. There was like 4 times a week. I did test once a week though. I don't know why it doesn't show that on there. I tested 3 times or once a week at New Beginnings in Traverse City, and then the last test I took right here in Sheboygan at Harbor Hall, which was last week. Yesterday, I missed my test yesterday too because I could not afford it. I'm a full-time father of 2 with no help, and I could barely keep up with my bills. I simply couldn't afford it. I'm sorry.
All right. Now you miss a couple tests because you can't afford it. I mean, I think every judge would understand that. But if you missed a test the day before you're supposed to go to court because you're missing tests, what does that look like? That looks like your attorney told you you're going to jail. You're like, all right, well, whatever his drug of choice is, alcohol or something else, like I'm gonna get wasted or I'm gonna get high. I'm going to jail anyways. That's what it looks like. Not good, man. Not good.
Okay, Mr. Mataloni, you satisfied with that factual basis?
I am.
Mr. Goodrich?
Yes.
All right, well, Mr. Wolf, I find that your plea of contempt is knowing and voluntarily and understanding made, and that there is a sufficient basis in fact and law to believe that you are in contempt. So I will make that finding and accept that plea. You want me to bring in Mr. Brown and excuse him that?
Yes, thank you.
Let's do that real quick. All right, Mr. Brown, your testimony is not needed in this matter. We did just address it on the record, so you're excused from the subpoena the prosecutor's granted you about.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so Mr. Mataloni, anything you want to say on your client's behalf for sentencing?
Overall on everything?
Well, I guess overall and the contempt, yes.
I really don't know what to say to the contempt. It's been something that's been going on throughout this case. He's had difficulty reaching them. He's had difficulty getting to the tests, and I know he has a financial difficulty. I can speak to that personally, but I don't think he's colored outside the lines other than that. And I don't think he's been using. I really think that he's in a situation where he is on his own. He did manage to find someone to watch his kids out in the parking lot for him today, but as I advised the court and the prosecutor earlier, he didn't have anyone to watch his kids, and he was going to have to bring them with him. So I'm going to leave it to the court's discretion. I don't think that he's a threat to the community. I would ask the court maybe decrease the frequency of testing and make it more financially compliable for my client. As far as the agreement we have goes, I'm going to ask the court to follow that. I don't think that he's done anything to, again, ruin that deal. He hasn't violated the bond in contacting the victim or anything of that nature. So I'm going to ask the court to follow our agreement there. And again, the court's been very gracious in the past when it comes to these violations. I know that. It just seems like there should be some sort of solution where he could test right here in town and less often, just from the financial aspect of it.
All right, thank you. Mr. Wolf, it's not required that you would make a statement today. It is allowed. Is there anything you want to tell me? No.
No, Your Honor, yes, Your Honor, so just go ahead. I just want to say, I thank you, by the way. I'm going through a hard time, and I'm trying my best. I did all I could. I took the test as much as I could, and I followed the laws. I'm a good dad. Yeah, I'm trying to be a good man. And I apologize that I couldn't keep up with all that I was required to do. I did call the courts, and I apologize to them too. I don't know if you know that, but I apologize.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Goodrich, any recommendations from people?
Is this both on the underlying case?
Yes.
And, okay, first I would ask the court for permission for Jade Livingston to speak. She is the mother of the minor.
Yes. Good afternoon, Ms. Livingston. Anything you want to tell me before I impose sentence? Go ahead.
I have an impact statement based on, how my life has been since this case has been going on. Matthew Wolf has made an impact in my son's and I's life in a lot of different ways that affects our everyday life. My son, he is impacted by Matthew in multiple different ways. His personality has changed. He's quick to get upset and frustrated when something doesn't go his way. He gets aggressive, and he's never been that way until after the day of November 23rd, 2022. He's afraid of everyone, whether or not you're a male or female, because of what Matthew has done to him. He cowers and hides behind me, even if someone's just trying to say hi to him. My son gets scared every time I drive towards Sheboygan because he thinks he's going to be seeing Matthew Wolf somehow, and I'm always having to calm him down to reiterate the fact that he's not going to be seeing him again. He even flinches at the slightest movements towards him as if he feels someone's out to get him because of what Matthew Wolf did. All of the impacts that Matthew Wolf has made on my son has also impacted my everyday life of trying to help my son do this every day. Life as he tries to understand and question what has happened to him and why. Every day I question why and how could anyone ever put their hands on someone as innocent as a 2-year-old at the time of the events. How could someone be so spiteful of an innocent little being that's just learning the ways of life and what they can and cannot do? A 2-year-old isn't going to be able to defend themselves from a grown adult. A 2-year-old isn't going to know how to try and find a phone to dial 911. A 2-year-old isn't going to understand why someone's putting their hands on them in an aggressive way and decipher if it's right or wrong. I question every day what would have happened differently had Leon Landry, Bentley's biological father, called the cops that day instead of just bringing my son to me, as I'm completely clueless as to who Matthew Wolf and Diamond Swinehart are. Matthew's impacted me by making me uneasy about even.
No, I'm not sick. I'm tired. I haven't been sleeping well. My sleep schedule's so messed up. It's been messed up for about a week. I've been up at random hours, going to sleep in the middle of the day. It just hasn't been normal. So yeah, I'm just tired. Just trying to, get through the end of the week so we can start fresh tomorrow, right? Let's go.
Sending my son to a daycare or even school in that matter, knowing, seeing what happened to my son, because I have little to no trust in people anymore. This case lasting a year and a half, and me endlessly having to be the only one to advocate for my son and hoping to get the justice he so deserves. To me, this isn't a justice system. My son isn't getting any justice in the matter when Matthew Wolf has been deliberately continuing to violate bonds the whole case, as he has only had to sit one time for a bond violation for only 84 days and had just got given a plea deal of 12 months probation. I personally think it's a whole load of crap.
Yeah, I do. I think I do dream about you every night. I dream about that day that you go in front of a judge, and actually have your jury trial. I'm excited about that. So yeah, I do dream about that almost every night.
He's getting less than what I've been fighting for this whole case. Sorry, Your Honor. I've been impacted financially as it's been a whole lot, or I've been impacted financially as I've been having to drive back and forth from the police station and all the court dates we've had, and with the fact of not trusting anyone, having only a select few people I do trust. So I'm not able to work as much as I'd like to be able to financially support me and my son. I also feel as though my son and I have been impacted by the Sheboygan Police Department and their failure to get my son and I a police officer on the case who was going to be able to successfully and thoroughly do their part for the case in the beginning, but instead gave us a police officer who was going to be transferring from Sheboygan to a different police station, who had seemed to be in a rush and completely get everything mixed up. I then had to advocate to get another police officer on the case, as they hadn't originally found another police officer to take the case. 5 months. It took about 5 months to even get a warrant to have Matthew and Diamond arrested to get anything in motion from when I had filed the complaint. I question every day why it is that Sheboygan County was failing my son and I when they're supposed to be the justice system and there to serve for their people. I question every day how it is that Diamond could sit there and tolerate her fiance husband doing something so heinous to someone so innocent. I question how it is that Diamond, by what I was told to be the one who was supposed to be watching my son, could also be let free of any consequences based on her fiance husband's actions and not doing anything about it, not attempting to call 911, or even Leon Landry, Bentley's biological father, the one who had set up babysitting. My son and I are also impacted by Leon Landry and his actions in the case, as he hasn't been a big helper at all from the beginning, because he didn't do what any father would / should do in a situation like this that Matthew had put my son through and called 911 the night of November 23rd, 2022. My son's impacted by him because since this day this has happened, he has made no efforts into trying to be a part of Bentley's life. He's made no efforts into helping give information regarding Matthew to try and help his son get the justice he deserves.
Yeah, I wanted to let her finish before I paused again. But so what I think what probably this was is he was originally charged with some kind of child abuse. They don't say exactly what the charge was. She's reading. This is the impact statement though. So she's telling us the impact that his actions had on her and her child. But I'm gonna guess that his sentence was delayed or deferred based on if he could do a bunch of things. And testing negative, this is now the violation where he's potentially going to go to jail for the original sentence. So I'm guessing that's why they're allowing the victim impact statement. Just that's my guess. Not a Colin, definitely not a lawyer. So hopefully but I think I might be at least half right on that. Someone will let me know.
Even given Bentley an apology for the situation he put him through, and not even attempting to help his situation. With that said, Leon's impacted me because he's given me all the weight in the situation from the beginning and has left me hanging clueless about anything pertaining to the situation. Thank you.
Oh man, I was only off by about 10
Sugars,
seconds.
recommendations from the people.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. The defendant is 39 years old. He has 9 prior felonies and 3 prior misdemeanors. I believe that the court has been more than patient with him on the drug line issues dating back to April 2023. Initially in district court, he was given a fine for a dilute test. And then in July of 2023, he had a positive drug screen. He did serve some jail time. There was another violation September 28th of 2023 for missing drug screens. Then we're actually here on a sentencing from a violation of March 4th of 2024, where he was failing to call the bond line in early March. The court gave him a stern warning that he had to figure this out, he had to comply, and that he would not be incarcerated for a second time and given a chance. The prosecutor's office during that time also gave him a chance by doing a delayed plea agreement that was against the victim's wishes, as she's explained why. And then here we are today between plea and sentencing with 2 more violations for missed calls, missed tests, without really any new explanation from that. He was warned by the court in March of 2024. I would ask the court to take that into consideration at the sentencing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wolf. If you please stand for the court sentence. Mr. Wolf, you stand here today convicted of a felony crime of child abuse for injuring a very young child with bruises on the child's head and back. You have 9 prior felonies, which is a terrible record. And your guideline range is a straddle cell, 5 months on the low end, 23 months on the high end. The plea agreement is for a delay of sentence. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to place you on a delay of sentence for 2 reasons. One, your extensive felony record and your abuse of a young child, and also then your complete failure to comply with my orders on bond. I have no reason to believe that you would comply with probation orders. Over and over again, you seem like you can just come to court and tell us why you're not obeying court orders, and that should be okay. I'm not sure why you think that. Maybe that we've been too lenient with you. And I revoked your bond at one time, but then gave you more chances. I thought that maybe revoking the bond and having you sit for 85 days would have mattered. It doesn't seem to have gotten your attention. In any event, your post-plea contemptuous conduct has negated your ability to withdraw the plea for me not following the plea agreement. And I have no confidence that you would succeed on probation. So, honestly, somebody with your record that hurts a child, I'm really thinking about whether to send you to prison. I'm not going to do that today, but you are going to do a year in the county jail forthwith. You get credit for 88 days previously served, $68 state cost, 130 crime victims assessment, $350 court cost, $60 DNA fee, and on the contempt it's 93 days credit for 0. Those will be concurrent. You can appeal if you wish by filing an application to the Court of Appeals. If you want me to appoint a lawyer, you have to ask me within 42 days. We're going to give you some appeal paperwork to that effect. One for you to initial, one for you to fill out if you want to take an appeal. And that's the sense of the court.
Does anyone else wish the the judge right now would just say, "Okay, bye."
All right, let her know.
Yeah, like I'm sick of you. I don't trust you at all. You're going to jail. Okay, bye.
Does he need to sign the appellate rights form?
You give her mine.
We acknowledge receipt of the appellate rights form.
Thank you. Thank you.
And are we going to do Mr.?
Yeah, it'll be Mr. All right, in the meantime, till we get somebody out from the jail, let's call up.
All right, see, peeps, I told you that wasn't a trigger warning. That wasn't that kind of case. It just didn't have a better title. My imagination for creating titles is very low right now, as you can probably tell. They just kind of got more bland and bland as the week went on. I just need a refresh. Tomorrow's Members Monday, so we'll use tomorrow's members only as our refresh day. All right. This next one is this is just a dumb kid. It's a dumb kid showing up in court, and this is Magistrate Chisholm. And yeah, I just sometimes it's fun to watch Magistrate Chisholm just be like, no, that doesn't make sense. No. All right, let's go.
Mr. Lobenstall, if you would turn on your video, please. You've got two tickets here, 24 RO 0, 2815 and 2815A. One ticket is a violation of the graduated license, and the other ticket is for changing lanes without due care and caution. You have the option to do three things this morning. You can admit responsibility, you can deny responsibility, or you can admit responsibility with an explanation. As to the changing lanes without due care and caution, how do you wish to proceed?
Looks like he muted himself.
Sure
I'd
does.
like to admit responsibility with an explanation, please.
Okay, it is to a violation of the graduated license.
Oh, that one. Yes. Not that one. I was thinking the other one. The other violation. That one I admit full responsibility. But I would like to ask, does that bring points onto my license?
What does the points have to do with the facts or the truth?
I was just wondering, but I admit full responsibility for that one.
For which one?
The violation of graduated license permit.
Okay, and so you're not admitting responsibility for the improper lane change.
I am admit that, but just with an explanation.
Okay, and what is the explanation?
So I was changing. So it said 4 lanes, and I believe there's 3 lanes in the main street.
There's 4 lanes in Woodward.
In Woodward, there's
And
the
then
turn lane.
there's also flare lanes to make turns. So at some points, the road is 6 lanes wide.
You know, that's exactly what Judge King was thinking when I visited him the last time. He was just looking at me. He's like, "You didn't wear a tie and you didn't shave. Who is this guy?" Yeah, it's a thought. But yeah, I think his facial hair. His looks worse than mine, but mine doesn't look much better.
Yes, so I was in the turn lane to turn around, the Michigan left, I believe it's called. I'm not sure. And I was in that lane. I merged over. So I was in the far left lane, not the turn lane. I went forward. There was one car next to me on the road. And I was the only car within like 100 yards or so. There was no other cars but that one next to me. And so I had to merge in front of that car and then go over. So I don't know how I could cut all the lanes over. It says, I believe, on the ticket, it says abruptly cut across all 4 lanes. But I couldn't have done that because there was a car next to me when I merged out of the left turn lane.
So you're admitting responsibility by saying you couldn't have done it?
No,
That's probably the best. I needed that, magistrate. Thank you. You're admitting responsibility by saying you couldn't have done it. That face. Hold on. I want to rewind it. I gotta go back 2 seconds just to pause on his face. Hold on. Here we go.
It says, I believe, on the ticket, it says.
I went back too far. Sorry.
abruptly cut across all 4 lanes. But I couldn't have done that because there was a car next to me when I merged out of the left turn lane.
So you're admitting responsibility by saying you couldn't have done it?
All right, that face right there. Yes. Again, I needed that. Thank you, magistrate. All right, let's go.
No, that it just says I'm cut across all 4 lanes. I just don't. I wasn't 4 lanes,
Okay, 3 lanes.
3 lanes.
Okay, and what's the deal with driving after 10 o'clock?
I went and visited friends and family in Canada earlier that day, and I was coming back, and I was with my cousin. I visited him in Detroit. He lives there, and I don't know. I really can't argue that because it was past my time. But other than I was visiting friends from church, I don't know if that I was just visiting family. That I don't think that I tried to look up the what the actual violations are, like what's the fine print, and I couldn't find anything on it. But I guess I could have dug deeper on that. I
You
don't
know you're driving
know
on a
where to look
restricted
up.
license, right?
What'd you say?
What I said was, you know that you were driving on a restricted license.
Yes, I thought it was
And don't you know what the restrictions are?
yeah, I from my understanding it was you can't drive from 5 a.m. and to 10:30. And I think
It's
it said
driving from 10 o'clock to 5 a.m. The restriction doesn't start at 5 a.m. It ends at 5 a.m.
ends at 5 a.m. So ends at 5 a.m. and I believe it started at 10:30, not 10.
Why would you think 10:30?
I'd heard it from friends, and I believe in the driver's training course, that's what I recall hearing.
It's okay to read.
I think. Oh man, I just paused at the absolute wrong time. Judge is about to go off on him. Not go off on him. No, just he's about to have a dad moment. What was I even going to say? Oh yeah, old soul. I've been pulled over 3 times my whole life. I've never taken a trial. I think in some jurisdictions you have to go to trial. So like a lot of Magistrate Chisholm's docket are people just saying, "Yeah, I admit responsibility," and he could lower your fine or you just get pay the fine. But I think sometimes you have to go. So I think that's what in this jurisdiction, more than likely, unless I don't know, I think you just have to go. Like there's people that have a ticket for 5 to 10 over, and they have to go to court for it. It's their first offense. So that's what I'm going to say to that. I don't really know the answer to that, but that's my best assumption.
There's nothing. The time is 10. It's never been 10:30 in the history of the state. The fine on each one of these is $130. The fines need to be paid. You can do it online. You can mail in a check or money order, or you can drop by the courthouse and pay it at the counter. It's
Okay.
$130 on each one.
All right.
Thank you.
I was hoping to change it to a no point citation. Is that
Yeah.
possible?
No. The
No?
points are between you and the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State's going to send you a letter that will tell you how you can go about stopping the points from going on to your record. It doesn't take the points off. It stops them from ever going on.
See, and that's a misconception. And I don't know why. I've heard, Judge Perkins kind of say this too. And magistrate just said that. No, the officers are here. In this court, the officers are required to be here. So the officer can say, I would like to motion the court to amend this ticket to, this, which doesn't allow points. Same with Judge Perkins' court. The prosecutor can amend the ticket to do that, where the fine would be the same. But so them just flat out saying no, like you can't do that. That's between you and the Secretary of State. I mean, he's not wrong about the points, but him just asking magistrate should have asked the officer if he had anything to say about the ticket, because that's what he usually does. I think he's just kind of annoyed at this point. But him just flat out saying, no, that's not possible, I can't do that, that's not a lie. But it is in his power to ask the officer. Again, kid was kind of annoying, so he's probably just like, just move on. You're admitting responsibility by saying you didn't do it. We're just going to move on.
But that
Okay.
between you and the Secretary of State.
Okay. All right.
Have a good one.
All right.
All right. Next clip. We head to Judge Middleton. Bob, are you still here? Bob. He let me know that this clip was happening. And I feel like I don't give enough shout outs to people that send me clips. Sometimes it's just because I've already seen them. Like I'll get a PM saying, hey, go check out this judge at this time. And I don't want to just respond to a PM saying, oh, I've already seen that, I've already clipped it. I don't want to do that. So generally I just say thank you. But Bob sent me this. I didn't see it yet, and it's only about a 5-minute clip out of Judge Middleton, so it's probable that I would have just skimmed right over it. So thank you so much, Bob, for letting me know this happened. There he is. He's here. All right. This one's a funny one, and then we go into the sad one.
This next one is Anthony Dwayne Grant. File number is 247230T. Mr. Grant, could I have the top copy or that copy of your advice of rights? I just got a surprise here. This is Anthony D. Grant. He got a ticket in Three Rivers on April 20th of 2024 for driving suspended. What the heck? All right, they give you a ticket for driving suspended. There is an open felony warrant for your arrest.
For what?
Alleging you should have been arrested at the time they give you this ticket. Larceny in a building, 3 counts, and unlawfully driving away an automobile, auto theft from.
That's my son. That's not me.
Oh, Anthony Dwayne Grant.
That's Anthony Dwayne Grant III.
Oh, deal.
He's the rapper.
1125.
He stole from me, Your Honor.
All right. Okay.
I'm going to press the charges.
You gave me a heart attack.
You gave me one.
Because it just, yeah, I had to look at the date of birth.
Yeah, that's Anthony Dwayne Grant III. He's in California right now.
All right.
In a rehab.
All right. Well, it ain't you.
No,
so that's
not.
a good news. You
just
were born in 2000, were you?
No, I was not. My heart dropped. I'm like,
well, I did because it was on here and I thought,
wow,
you're past all that kind of stuff.
My hand, boy.
All right. So this is just driving.
Yes.
Which is, you're on the merry-go-round.
Man. Your Honor, I gave Dave, the lawyer, I gave him $2,000 down to help me start the process of getting my license and everything else and stuff.
Who is the lawyer?
This Butler.
Oh.
Tony Butler.
Tony Towson.
That's it. Townsend.
Well, he's good at it.
Yeah, I gave him $2,000 down.
How recently?
Pardon?
How recently?
Probably a couple months ago, and I was waiting to get my settlement, which I did get, and then I allowed my sister to come and stay with me, and all of a sudden the money disappears. So she left and went to New York, and I was going to go ahead and pay him off like that. Right now, I'm really struggling, trying to keep up with everything and get to work and everything with rides and this and that. On that day, I was going to get my kids because
well, if
the person
don't
didn't
say
come.
anymore, if
Sorry.
this hits your driving record, same thing. So this isn't you. So you don't, as far as I can tell, you don't owe me anything, and you don't have a felony warrant out for your arrest. So I'm going to adjourn this also. We're going to be busy on July 2nd. at 8:30 to see if he started the license process. Quincy's been clean for years and years. So have you.
I see him at the meetings.
How long you been clean?
Oh my gosh, about
20 years?
probably about 15.
And so, yeah, even then, even after 15 years, it takes a while
But
to,
I came up here in 2098. Oh my gosh.
well, you and I were
You're
both
right.
much younger when we
Yeah,
met.
right. Yes, very young. You know, we was dressed a lot better too. You know, you asked me where'd I get my suits from, and I told you from in New York and stuff. You're like, yeah.
Well, you and your brother came from New York.
Yeah, me and my brother George.
And anyway, I'd like to see you get off the.
I'm trying.
merry-go-round, But
I am
you,
trying.
yours is alcohol. And it's harder to do.
Yeah.
But let's set pretrial to get licensed with Tony Towson. It is expensive. He does a good job.
$5,000.
Well, the Taylor firm does a good job. And there are a number of others, a number of attorneys quit doing it because the driver license appeal division was so draconian. They were taking a lot of people's money and not accomplishing anything. Now, my word, DLAD's position may be we're protecting public safety by not just giving licenses out willy-nilly. So the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. But let's see what you can get on board between now and July 2nd.
Yes. Thank you, Your Honor.
Probably really busy that day at 8:30. Bring license info. Even if you can show that you've started the process, they may give you some consideration.
All right. Thank you.
All right, I'll see what you're doing at that time.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
You have a good day.
thanks. I'll see you around.
All right, all right. Now we move on to a little bit of a sad case. Now, I saw a message. I think Terry V said it. The dogs aren't being put down, so don't worry. It's not that kind of sad case. But yeah, I don't want to spoil it anymore. But this is just kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and there's gonna be a lot of opinions on this case, and I know my opinion of it is gonna be the complete opposite of what most people think. And I'll explain it. I'll explain my opinion towards the end. But this is a longer hearing, and yeah, Judge Goggins, let's go.
Oh,
This Tolbert?
yes.
Okay, this is your motion. It's time for you to ask me what you want me to do at this time. You can go ahead.
Okay. Good morning. I when I made the request to get my dogs back because my son had passed, and we're trying to sell his home across the street, and I did two things. I put up a private fence, it's past 6 foot, and also my son had these for the dogs, and I have the shot collars for them, so I know they won't leave the yard anymore.
Shot collars. And we're talking about two dogs, aren't we?
Yes, Bella and Shadow.
That's right. I remember Bella and Shadow. And you're telling me that you've kind of resolved the issue by having a fence put in. Is the fence in the backyard? Is that what it is?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, yes, sir.
And
yes.
it's in 6 foot now?
Yeah, it's a private fence.
What
And
was it?
also-
What was back there before? Help me remember what was there before. Was there any fence at all?
Yes, it was. Miss Robin had and her husband complained about the fence, maintaining the fence. That's how all this appeared. Anyway, I put up a little fence that I seen on TikTok, and I put it back there. But Bell and Shadow like to, huh? What? Oh, no.
No, you are absolutely right. And these are subtitles the court has up. These aren't my subtitles. I actually think it might not be this hearing, but when I was watching this same docket this day, I clicked on it to see if my subtitles were somehow switched to Spanish, but no. So you actually might see me check that halfway through this hearing, but I don't think it was this one. But yeah, this isn't me. This is the court had them in Spanish for whatever reason this day. Oh yeah, you don't do everything off TikTok? Every time I see a TikTok, I do it. Every time. Every time. They say build a fence, I'm gonna go build a fence outside. Don't even have a yard, still gonna try it.
Bell and Shadow, they're not vicious dogs. They haven't attacked anyone. They haven't bitten anyone. They like to chase squirrels. And I noticed Miss Robin, I was looking at my camera, and she was asking my neighbors stuff about me on my street. And one of the neighbors told me what Miss Robin was asking for. And the other one told me what she was asking for. But my intentions are if I could get my dogs back. They are secured in the backyard. I have a ring camera in the backyard. I have a light. I have the shot collars, and I put up a private fence. And Miss Robbins can attest to that.
Okay, is Miss Robbins somebody that I guess
Yes, she's on here.
is she a neighbor? Is she related to you?
That's the one.
Congratulations. As of now, that is the comment of the night. You just almost made me spit out my water. I was drinking it when I read that. That's good. That's good. Nicely done, Robbie. Nicely done.
No, that's the one who had the complaint against me. I don't know why she's on here. I thought it was just between us and the township. But soon as they told her that I was going back to court to get my dogs, that's when Miss Robbins started coming up here on Chisholm Trail to find out different things, whatever the neighbors wanted to say to her.
Okay, so I got Lindsay Evans, Carrie Evans, and a Robin Evans. I guess let me see what I got on the screen first. Robin Evans.
No, she has her dogs right now. They're not her dogs. Wait, no. I think they're her dogs, and the resolution to this was her son was going to take her dogs because the dogs kept getting loose. So all this has to do with dogs getting loose. They didn't attack anybody or do anything, but they kept getting loose. So she kept getting ticketed. Neighbors complained. So you'll hear from the neighbors right now. The last time they were in court, the solution was this woman's son was going to take the dogs. Since that court date, her son has passed away. So I think the son had the dogs for a period of time. He passed away, so she took them back. Since she's taken them back, these neighbors filed another complaint and they're back in court, which is she built a fence. She's doing, X, Y, and Z that she thinks she's supposed to be doing. And the neighbors took her back to court. So here we go.
You're at the top. Why don't you unmute for me there? Miss Evans, and you're one of the neighbors?
I live in the house that abuts the back of our houses butt together.
Yep, you're the one that's in the back. Okay. What about Lindsay Evans? Where's Lindsay Evans?
He's not on today.
Lindsay, why don't you unmute there for me? There you go.
I'm Linnea Evans. I'm the other daughter.
Okay, that's right. I'm sorry, it's just been a while. So you're the daughter of Robin, is that right?
That's correct.
All right. And but you don't live there, you're just the daughter, right? If I remember right.
That's correct. I help my mother with the video evidence and pictures.
Yep, I remember the video. You're the one that could kind of work through things for me.
Yeah, it kind of almost sounds like that, but we don't know the details. The neighbors are going to explain it, and that's where my opinion is going to come in. And we still got a lot of time left, so I want to let this play for a little bit. But just the details that I understand it, the neighbors do sound like Karens. But right now, when they're talking, I don't know, they just don't sound like Karens. They sound, I don't know. You'll find out. I don't want to go too much about how I feel about this case yet.
How about Carrie Evans? Is Carrie there or is not?
I'm here with Robin. Sitting here next to me.
Oh, you're right there. Okay. And Carrie, I'm sorry, is Carrie live in the same house? Are you two related somehow?
Yes, he's my husband.
That's what, okay. I usually try not to say husband or wife, or I'm not sure who's who anymore. Mr. Evans, you live in the house there too?
Yes, I do.
Okay. It's got you two together. And anybody else on the screen that involves the dog with Miss Tolbert? Anybody else? I don't think so. I do have, and I did have letters, as I mentioned, from Carrie Evans, Lindsay Evans, and Robin Evans. I think it was all three. Oh, there was one. No, I guess that was it. Yep. Got those letters. And then I guess probably the easiest one is probably Robin Evans. You're the one that seems to be the most involved. And again, I'm just going to kind of reiterate what Ms. Tolbert has told me. She says she's got a privacy fence in the back that's over 6 foot tall. I guess, is that part true? Do you see a privacy? Whether you agree with it or not, is that true?
They yesterday tried to erect a privacy fence. It is true. It is not made to standard by any means. I think that people who erected it for her have never put a fence up before. They tried. I'm not sure if it's going to actually contain the dogs, because there are breaches and they've wired it together, and the post, you know how they're supposed to meet, where one part of the fence comes to the post and then the other panel comes over here. They're not. The posts are in the middle of the panels, stuff like that, so that I'm not sure about the longevity of the fence.
Not yet, but they will. We'll see pictures of the fence.
Okay. If I'm
one more thing, Your Honor.
Sure.
They only put it on the back side, and the dogs can jump their side fence as well. And they did not put it on the north side of their fence, the north yard.
What about the south side then? Is that's something
The
up?
south side, the other neighbor has a fence on that side, a privacy fence.
Oh, that's right. Yep, there was one. Yeah, that's right. I do remember. Yep.
Excuse me, Judge.
Hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. Who was that? Is that Lynn?
I had one thing I could add if you would allow.
Lindsay or Linnea? I'm sorry.
Linnea.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
The other important thing to mention is that the dogs have dug underneath the privacy fence that remained on the side. And so in addition to this fence potentially not holding because it is not stable, they have already dug along the side of the fence before. So, dig barriers would be an important thing to consider.
Okay, and when was the last time you were over on the property then?
In December, I was there for a month.
Okay. So it's been a little while. I guess, Robin Evans, you're the one that's there on a regular basis. The fence just went, the privacy portion went up yesterday.
Correct, but it's not completed. I was out there this morning, and there's one panel that's just cleaning, and like they use nails, not screws, they're not all the way in, and that type of thing.
Yeah, okay.
Can I say something, Judge?
You can, Ms. Tolbert, yep.
Okay, first I want to address something. I have my sister, Tammy Cross. She was the one, me and her purchased the fence. First of all, they put the cement on the post. And so they are properly put up. Now, the one piece of board she's talking about, my brother's coming back today to butt that up, and the fence she's talking about, my neighbor Gail bought privacy fence that she's gonna bring up along her fence, but she has a fence. Bella and them can't jump that fence. And what Miss Robbins' daughter's talking about, the dogs don't dig up under there. They didn't dig. And when we found out that they went next door, we fixed it. They don't dig up under there. And yes, the fence is put up properly. And the dogs cannot knock it down unless a deer or something come through. But it is mounted with cement, all the posts.
We do have pictures.
And screws. So what they're saying is that Miss Gale's fence, the dogs can't jump it because it's more than 6 feet. So that wasn't the issue. The issue was the back where they went over there in her yard. They didn't jump the fence and come over to her yard. They went through her backyard. And I have my sister, Tammy Crawl, she's getting a text. Me and her is the one who purchased the fence. My sister.
No,
My
who's
sister Tammy.
who's installing the fence? Who did that?
My brother and my grandson. They put it up. We let the cement set for 2 days. And they fixed it.
All right. That's a good time to stop. Legal Fiction, thank you so much for the 10 gifted membership. I appreciate it. Welcome to the 10 new members. Members Monday is tomorrow night. So let's go. Thank you so much, Legal Fiction. You're awesome. All right. We're about halfway through this. Now we're about to see pictures. Now we're gonna get this. Seems like an HOA person involved. This is where I start getting frustrated. So I'm gonna let it play for a little bit. I think some of you might see what side I'm already leaning on.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mr. Wallace, did you say something? Yeah.
Yeah, Judge, if I may, a couple of things with this situation here, with this fence. If you recall last week when we had this conversation with Miss Tolbert, she explained to the court that these dogs were electric fence trained, that they were on an electric fence at her son's property, and that she would be installing before today's hearing an electric fence that the dogs were trained to use. Now we're back to the hearing, and she's gotten shock collars instead of a electric fence. She's put in a fence without a permit that is not up to Flint Township Code, that should not have been installed without pulling a permit. The fact of the matter is she was told that she had to have an electric fence installed, and now she's coming back talking about a completely different fence. And it's unfortunate, the situation, but it seems that we're going down the same line that we've gone through the last few months of the court telling her to do a certain thing, and then we come back and get excuses on why they're not done the way the court was supposed to.
Yeah. Let me
the court ordered.
All right, I was trying to wait till we finished talking. I wanted to get his whole speech in before I paused it. Court vibes, Kathy, good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Just got home from work. That's awesome. Welcome home. Also, now I don't know if he's actual HOA. That's why I said he's an HOA type guy. So I don't know if he ever says what he exactly does. He has a P number next to his name, which says he's an attorney. So that's why I'm thinking, I think he's an HOA type Karen. So that's what he sounds like with all this. But we haven't seen the pictures yet. We'll see the pictures of the fence. Don't want to spoil it anybody, but Kathy, so good to see you. And I think there was something. Oh, I think that was it. I think that was it. All right, let's go.
I mean,
Sure. Okay. Robin Evans, I guess I got one question, and this doesn't really, I just curious more than anything else. Before her son passed away, were there any other issues? I'm just curious.
Well, we've been back and forth in court for 2 years.
No, I know, but since we ordered that the dogs be in the custody of her son,
Okay, I can't, it was winter time, so
Yeah.
I wasn't out in the yard a lot to hear anything or see anything, but what I was told by 2 of her neighbors, again, is hearsay.
I want to hear from the neighbors. I'm just talking about what, from your perspective.
I can hear dogs barking. And I guess in December, she was supposed to not have any more. I didn't ask for this. I mean, the township did this and the court did it. They said that she was to have the dogs removed if she didn't rehome them and then have them not be on her property ever again. I can hear the dogs barking on her property. Yeah, like I said, they've been witnessed to be seen there by others, but it's hearsay. So,
dogs are gonna bark. Dogs are gonna bark. Sorry, it's gonna happen. That's what they do. That'd be like, the defendant saying, I hear Karen talking from her backyard. You know what? Karens are gonna talk. Karen's gonna talk. All right, sorry. I'm trying to keep my opinion to myself, but I'm starting to get frustrated watching this again.
I don't think she was ever in compliance. I don't have a picture proof of that, but I don't think she was ever in compliance. I think she's had the dogs the entire time, according to hearsay.
Your Honor, can I say one more thing?
Okay.
Mr. Maddox has 2 big dogs that is 2 doors down from me. And also Mr. Randy and Nisan has a dog. And also
Ma'am,
they got dogs, but she said she hearing my dogs. No, that's not right.
I got you.
No, you can't say that's my dog.
Judge, if I may say one last thing too, it's against Flint Township ordinances to have a fence that's taller than 6 feet anyway. So, whether a fence has been put in or not, it definitely does not comply with the ordinance of the township, and there's no way the fence is going to be allowed to stand in the current condition. There's no permit pulled. It's an illegal fence at this point.
Yeah.
No one never told me I need a permit to put my fence up. Judge, you didn't say that.
Ma'am, I wouldn't have to. You're the owner of the property. You need to know what the rules are. That's the problem. That's unfortunately, that's part of the issue here. Let me take a brief recess. I'll look through my order that I had signed originally and just make a decision for everybody, okay? If I given everybody a chance to talk, were there other ones from the neighborhood?
I would like to say one thing.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you got kind of left out. Your wife took over.
Okay, that's all right. I've worked construction on and off most of my life. I have degrees in engineering, and I worked at GM for 38 years as an engineer, and I know how to construct a fence. And I can tell you, my critique is that fence will not withstand. In a short period of time, there would be bigger breaches in the fence because of the way it's not anchored. The amount of cement that was put in the holes was not sufficient. And I sat here and watched the whole proceeding in my sunroom as they were constructing the fence. So I'm not being unduly critical. I know how to construct a fence.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
One more thing.
It is less than
The
robust,
pole,
and it needs additional work, a lot of it.
Yana, look, my brother, we rent the tour. The post has to be at least 2 feet in the ground, cemented down, and that's what they are.
Well, they may or may not be. The unfortunate thing, ma'am, is
I bought 8-foot poles. So
well, the unfortunate thing is, ma'am, you gotta follow the rules there too. You gotta go through the township for a permit, and you didn't do that either. So now I'm in a spot where I got I'm guessing what's got to be done. Did somebody said they had, I guess I don't really need it. Somebody had a picture of the fence that went up?
All right, now we're about to see pictures. And yeah, you were right. This lady, she tried to do everything herself. She tried to fix it. She hired her, I think they said what? She said her brother and her nephew to come put a fence up that doesn't seem to know what they were doing. We'll see pictures here in a second. I mean, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look terrible though. It looks like it could be fixable, but she's probably gonna have to tear it down because she didn't get a permit for it. Mr. HOA Ken down there, already has pictures and watching. I don't even know what he has to do with this case. I don't even know why he's here. It just feel bad, so bad for her. I do. I just feel bad for her. And yeah, like, help her. Like somebody said earlier, be neighborly, do something, like help her. Like she lost her son. Help her not lose her dogs. It's not that hard. It just seems petty to take someone to court for dogs. It does. It does. When they didn't bite you or attack you, it seems petty. All right, that's my opinion. I know I was going to try to hold out on it. Also, who said that? Paul said this was boring. Paul, you don't got to hang out, man. I appreciate you being here. Hold on. I'm trying to find the comment again. Yeah, Paul, you can take off. Law Talk with Mike just went live. You can go hang out with him. I'm not going to be offended. All right, let's go.
Yes, I do.
Ms. Evans, you're the one, you're always my tech person.
On the technical assistance.
If you could, can you get it up on the screen for me by chance?
I do. I have the pictures up. You just have to allow me to share.
Oh yeah, sure. Yep. Mr. Wallace, as long as she's got it, let's just take a look so I know what I'm not guessing at, I guess. But, yeah.
And these are pictures that were taken this morning.
Okay. I should have permission now.
Can you see?
Yep. We get them all.
Okay, so this is where you can see that there's no proper anchoring of the post.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to take my icon off the screen while they show pictures to make these bigger. All right, here we go.
This is one of the side fences, so you can see where even if they fix the back, that the dogs still have the capacity to jump the chain link fence. Here's an example where they've used ties to hold boards together.
Okay.
Here you can see where the fence is leaning and not secured at all. You can see that other parts of the fence are also leaning. Here's big gap in the fence with ties holding that section together.
In their defense, that one was as before they had tried to secure together that one, the second one on the screen there.
Okay. I appreciate you being very up, Candy. I appreciate that. I do. So
yeah.
And this was, you can see that there was a gap here as well. I don't know, Mom, if this.
Again, that was as they had propped them up there, so that gap is not that large now.
Okay. I'd rather everybody just be right up front.
For being honest, it's not there anymore. He's put it up right.
Okay. All right. And just, I guess, for my sake, Mr. Wallace, did you by chance talk to?
Oh yeah, the fence did not look good. I told you that. I warned you. Fence doesn't look good. I don't remember seeing the wire fence. Why do they have a wire fence on part of their yard, wooded fence on the other, and then another part of their yard had a fence from their neighbor's yard? It's like a mixed match of fence. I guess this is where the TikTok fence came in. I don't know, but the fence wasn't bad. But I mean, it wasn't good. I said it. I warned you. But it's fixable, right? At least I hope so. I mean, if she fixes the fence and applies the code, okay, I'm gonna stop talking. I want to finish this case.
The Evans at all? Have you talked to them at all?
I did. I spoke with I believe Linnea a little bit last week just about that they were having the hearing and they expressed deep concern with me about the dogs returning and just one thing I'd like to add, Judge, about the pictures of the fence. The fence is in complete violation of Flint Township's ordinances. That the way that that's anchored, it is not a legal fence by Flint Township ordinance by
Hello?
any means.
Okay.
So it will be getting, I mean, the township would say that the fence has to come down because the fence has not been done even close to within the procedure set by the ordinance.
What about the shock collars? They are legit. They are trained already set to this, so they can't go nowhere.
Well, ma'am, do you have
And my response,
you have a line running around the back that
Yes,
prevents them from leaving
yes.
the back? When was that installed?
It last week. And that's they came over here. This is live wire. This is what shocked them.
Well, I understand the collars. I understand how it works, but you're telling me you've got an underground line running? Is that
Yes.
who installed that?
Hold on.
Can anybody hear me, Your Honor?
Yeah, ma'am, please be quiet. Whoever's speaking up there.
Invisible fence.
Do you have a receipt for it?
Do you want me to bring it down there?
No, I'd like to see it on the screen if we can hold it up.
Let me see it.
And
All right, I'm going to skip ahead a couple seconds before you can actually zoom in on that and read any personal information. I went ahead about 20 seconds, so I don't think we missed too much.
And you can't get through the ivy with them. And I have
I
seen
rented
evidence
it.
of the other digging.
yeah.
Oh my God.
They,
She said we using the manual.
Oh,
I
you-
rented it from
They
Home
did go
Depot.
and rent one afterwards. They tried.
Come on, thank you. Thank you.
You did go and rent one, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Let me take a recess off here. I'll make some decisions and come back on for everybody. Okay. And with that, Mr. Walsh, we'll be back on. And we'll put the other ones on in just a few minutes.
thank you, Judge.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Polka.
Mm-mm.
I just don't like the situation.
no
I
way.
don't. I don't.
Mm.
I either fast forward this or he's not gone very long. Or maybe he is and I can just hang out. But yeah, you guys know my opinion. We don't know exactly how bad these dogs are. We don't have the full story. We just don't know. I've owned a house. I had a dog. I had dogs around me that bark nonstop. That's what dogs do. I would never do anything to a neighbor to cause an action to take the dog away from the owner, unless the dog attacked you. It's the only time I feel that was necessary. Even then, if it was me, I'd just be like, it's fine. I'll be okay. You just need to watch your dog. If it was one of my kids, no, yeah, I'm sorry, your dog's gone. Or at least do something about it. All right, I knew I was going to fast forward here in a second. Yeah, I think we're on the same page, Legal Fiction. I think we are. Oh, Kathy, I never called you out before I get back. Woo! I know I brought you on stream. I mean, I brought you on stream. I know I brought your comment up, but I almost forgot to call you out. Thank you so much, Kathy. Hopefully you're still here. I think that was 20 minutes ago. No, that was just a little over 10 minutes ago. Thank you so much, Kathy, for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate it. And welcome to all the 5 new members. Again, tomorrow night is Members Monday. So it's going to be a good night. All right, let's finish this clip up.
Okay, we can go back on the record with People versus Keisha Tolbert. Had a chance to review my notes regarding statements made today. This is Ms. Tolbert's motion to allow the 2 dogs that were at issue.
That isn't true. I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't even have hair. I'm bald. Told you.
On this file 23A891 ON, that being Bella and Shadow. Unfortunately, the correction that was done was to have dogs placed with her son, but her son unfortunately has passed away at this point. I do find that I just don't see a reasonable. Just doesn't look to me like Ms. Tolbert's got a reasonable way to rectify the problem with the two dogs.
I get that, Paul. That's why they're in court. I mean, there's laws for a reason to keep control of your dogs, and that's why they're in court. And they said that earlier. Is the problem is the dogs kept getting away from her, which is why the solution was her son was going to take the dogs. Then her son passed away, so she got the dogs back, and now we're back in court. So that's the whole entire story. If you missed the start of it, so I just feel bad for this woman, and I just wish there was another alternative. I know I get it. I'm not disagreeing with the law or, the dogs might be a menace because they keep getting out. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I just wish there was a different alternative. I think I just spoiled the ending, though. I'm sorry, guys.
There's a fence that has been installed. To her credit, she thought she was doing the right thing, but even the fence has not been properly requested for permit from the township. It appears that it's not. And in her defense, it doesn't. The fence isn't quite done, but it still doesn't look like it's going to rectify the situation with the two dogs, Bella and Shadow. Therefore, at this time, I'll order that the dogs be removed from the property. I'm going to give Ms. Tolbert a chance to do that, to have them removed to another owner outside of this property, someplace else, by June 1st of this year. If the dogs, Bella and Shadow, are not removed by that date, township may come in and have the two dogs removed and placed with. Mr. Wallace, I can't remember. Do you guys use Humane Society, or do you use is there another shelter that you guys use around? I don't even know.
Judge, I can get you that answer.
I prefer Humane Society, but I don't know if that works. I don't know if you guys have an agreement with them or not. Do you know?
I don't. If you give Animal Control is who we use.
Yeah,
Judge.
yeah. We'll have them removed to through Animal Control. Mr. Wallace, for your sake as well, if the order that I had following a show cause hearing, part of the language can be used in that as well, just with if the dogs are kept on the property from this time to June 1st, if there's an incident, the township can come on and remove them. But in the meantime, the defendant must secure the two dogs by a leash or otherwise kept under direct control of Ms. Tolbert. And we're going to keep the same paragraph. Any dogs belonging to a third party brought onto the property must be secured by a leash or otherwise kept under control of the person in direct control of those animals and cannot roam the yard or be left unattended. And we'll leave it at that. So June 1st is the date, June 1st, unless the neighbors for some reason, and I'm not suggesting it has to be done, but if the neighbors come in and they work out some agreement between them, I'm more than happy to look at it, Mr. Wallace. If they come in and say, hey, listen, I think for the dog's sake, we've got another way to do it. I just see it happen, okay? Because they've been pretty kind-hearted too. I feel bad for the dogs, quite frankly, but.
Yeah, we all feel bad for the dogs. I think every one of us does. And, I'm glad the judge suggested that. We were all saying that in the side chat during this entire clip. So I'm glad Judge Goggins said that. So it just sucks. It sucks. All right. Well, this video is done. It's over. Thank you all for hanging out. Yeah, there's about 10 seconds left. So when I hit play, my outro is going to pull up. So let's go hang out on Discord. If you guys want to hang out on Discord, we'll chat for a little bit. I'll be there for a little bit. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships tonight. We got Kathy and Legal Fiction, right? Yep, Kathy and Legal Fiction. Thank you to both of you. The other Kathy from Court Vibes, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out. If you guys aren't subbed over there, I don't know why. She's got a great channel. If you're, yeah, she's still here. Can one of my mods, if I you know, I'm pretty sure you guys have already dropped her link, but can someone drop her link one last time? So you know, for anyone who's not subbed over there, go sub over there. And yeah, you're just gonna have to wake up at 4:30 in the morning to to watch her live. But you can always catch her on replay. But you guys have a great night. That's all I got. That's all I got. Did I say membership Monday tomorrow night? I think I already said that. All right. You guys are awesome. Until next time. Bye.
We'll just do it that way, okay? If you can get an order for me, I'll look at it and sign it. Take care of
Okay,
it.
Judge, I'll get that.
Okay. All right. Good luck to everybody. Okay.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. You're welcome. Bye.